Hey you guys, happy Friday. It's Marielle, the Business Alchemist, and today I'm going to share with you one tip on how to attract your ideal client. And it is so important, entrepreneurs, experts, for anyone who's in business, to understand exactly who they're speaking to. I'm speaking to spiritual entrepreneurs, coaches, therapists, and experts. I know that's my market. So when I create my videos, when I create anything, I do it for them, and I speak to you and only you. Specifically for you, it's really important to know who your ideal client is, because if you don't, it's like why market? How could you possibly create the best program or the best offers unless you know exactly who it's for? And one of the biggest mistakes entrepreneurs in general make is that they want to help everyone, and therefore they create products for everyone, and the products end up being kind of watered down, and the message when you show up, if you show up on social media, or the copy that you write on your website, is watered down as well, because it's almost like you create it out of fear, right? The fear of, oh, I don't want to miss out. But what happens is that when you really focus on a specific person and on helping people with a specific problem, then you can go so much deeper with what you're doing. For example, I help entrepreneurs, spiritual entrepreneurs and coaches and therapists and people who transform other people's lives, right? I help them organize and their work and create beautiful offers and online programs, and I help them make sales with it, all right? So it's a very specific thing, and that's why my program is very step-by-step and very specific. So you have to get really specific. So maybe you already knew that. The other day, I came across someone who was told by somebody to pick an ideal client that is very lucrative and that's going to make them money. And while I totally agree with that, she was kind of dissuaded from following someone from catering to a type of clientele she really felt passionately about, all right? And the person that dissuaded her from it told her, oh, you shouldn't cater that person because that person doesn't have money. And I was like, there is nothing further from the truth. Like, you need to follow your gut instinct and your heart. Who are you here to serve? And it actually reminded me of me, because back in the day when I was first getting started, I had a mentor tell me that I should not help spiritual entrepreneurs because they weren't willing to invest in themselves. And boy, have I proven them wrong. So you just have to really step into your heart and ask yourself, who am I here to help? And then really get very clear about who that person is, what their language is, all right? So here's the quick tip for you. One way of finding out who your ideal client is, well, actually there's two ways. One is, who were you 3 to 5 years ago? Okay? Who were you 3 to 5 years ago? Hi, Luz. Hey, baby. How are you? Who were you 3 to 5 years ago? Ask yourself those questions. What could you have used at that time? What systems, what products, what services, what were you feeling at that time? That's one way. Now, if that doesn't apply to you, another way is ask yourself, from the clients that you've already had, who is your favorite client? Okay? And then focus on that client and ask yourself, or ask that client, who were they 3 or 5 years ago? Where were they? What were they experiencing? What was going through their mind? Now, I say 3 to 5 years, but it could be last year, it could be 2 years. I hope you get the point. And thank you, babe. Oh, thank you. I just got my hat, and I loved it so much that I decided to wear it. So I always say, we're always catering to who we were 2 or 3 years ago, and it's a great strategy. I think it's a really good place to start. So ask yourself, who were you 2 to 5 years ago, depending on the time or whatever, on your gut call, And if it's not you, who is the current client right now that you absolutely love, that you love working with them? They do what they're supposed to do. They said yes to you right away. You just have that great connection with them. Who were they 2 to 5 years ago? Okay. And then you can, that's a good place to start. Obviously there's a lot more where this came from, and I talk deeply about that in my program. But since I'm doing my video challenge, I thought I'd come in here and share that tip with you. So I hope that helped. And also, I am liking this hat, and I'm thinking about getting it in a different color. And they have a neon green, so I might actually do it. All right, guys. I love you guys. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next week. Peace out.